Land, your Bet Sports Betting Show live stream, 1 hour to tip for game one. We got those Nuggets and the Timberwolves here in Denver. Going to be taking a look at the last minute bets here. I already put a bunch in. You're subscribed to the page or in the Discord or one of the two. You get these bets as soon as they come out. Put those on the card late last night there for everybody, so make sure we got some bets in for today a little bit early. I think we took advantage of some of these lines, but got some bets coming in already. Appreciate you guys being in here. Got G-Bag already talking about Gordon threes. Yep, we can talk about Gordon threes. I know a couple guys that are on that right now. Reggie PRA is mad low. I've got to see how many minutes we actually think he's going to get. And someone in the chat was already talking about Mike Conley, and G-Bag brought it up too. Or you might be talking about Mike Porter Jr. Yeah, I mean, either way, we'll take a look at both them. But let's let everybody get in here real quick. I do want to get this stuff off. What's up, yo? Sure, good to have you, bro. Ivan's already talking about, can you tell me what you think about Naz Reid or Yvonne? Whichever one it is, my bad, bro. Either way, Naz Reid over 8.5 points. Yeah, I put a bet up for Naz already. Let me take a quick look at all those with you all so that we can get into what you guys got. I'm going to put up the stuff that we want to look at on the bottom line. Plus, on the bottom line is going to be my full card already. Let me actually update that for y'all so it's not incomplete. I can get every single bet I got in here for you. Put these in yesterday, like I said. I think a lot of these are still going to be around similar odds because I feel like I already kind of got to it after other people got to it. I'm going to have that right here on the bottom line. Like I said, let me get it right for you. Hold up one sec. And I'll look at those bets too, but I want them on the bottom line. So as everybody's rolling in, you can still see what I got here and play that if you want to. I'm going to put in all caps real quick. And then, yeah, jump in the comments if you do want to look at anything because I want to get this did before that game starts so that we can all watch that. And I'll be in the Discord probably throwing in some live bets. Still going to be looking at Cavs and Magic Game 7 as well. If y'all want to jump in the Discord, I'll be talking about that a little bit, I'm sure, while we watch this Nuggets game. But hopefully we get some live betting opportunities. Let's talk about that for a sec. One of the bets that I do have up already that I'll be looking at with you right now is Naz Reid because that was brought up. And Naz Reid, I do think is going to have a bigger series. Now, I think a lot of people are betting on him in this first game, which kind of makes me nervous when everybody and their mama's on the same bet that I got. But I'll throw it in here and take a look at it real quick with y'all. Throw that stuff in there, and we can get it going. We got Naz. Yeah, Joker over points for sure. So here's what I got already real quick. I played some series prices if y'all want this. Put myself back up. And I played both of these and measure the units correctly. Over 5.5 games for either team to win this series doesn't matter. Just need to go to 6 or more. And then the Denver series price for them to win in 6 or better. So both those bets here as the series gets going. You still have an hour at these prices to get it. And then as soon as this game tips, I believe they freeze those prices for the series. And then you can get back in after the game's over, but you'll have obviously much different odds. So if you think Denver's going to win this series, I would hit it now because if they go up 1-0, you're in trouble. And if they go down 1-0, then you're in a good spot to take it again if you want and get better juice on it. Because I still don't think if they lose the first game that they're necessarily going to lose this series by any means. I think Jamal's going under. So that's the only dude that I'm really clearly fading for this Denver team here. Jaden McDaniels is going to be on him, he's going to be wearing like a jersey. And if you look at the shot attempts, that's really what I talked about in the video last night. That was one of the more important stats for me is that he's only at about 14.5 field goal attempts when he plays against Jaden McDaniels specifically. Hasn't gone over in 6 straight games versus Minnesota where JMD was on the floor against him. So that's going to be a big battle to watch all series. Joker and Rudy, obviously a big battle, but I like Joker and his points. I mean, that's what we continue to go to. And this isn't just like Joker's going to try to dominate this dude to prove that he's the best offensive player in the league and that Rudy can't guard him and nobody can guard him. It's not quite that level of ego, although I like that as a sort of added narrative. If you believe in that try factor for Jokic, then yeah, I mean, it's crucial that we think he's going to try. And it's the playoffs, but how do we think he's going to try? And I think it's scoring, right? And so the assists and rebounds are going to be a little bit harder to come by for him. But when it comes to one-on-one versus Rudy, there's also the fact, more importantly, and what is most importantly, is that he's going to have one-on-one matchups. There's not going to be doubles coming to him like he sees pretty much every game when other dudes are guarding him. We're probably going to see Cat on him a lot as well, with Rudy coming off as the free safety and playing against him. He can also just barbecue Cat. I think he's obviously good to take both of them. So he's going to keep being a problem in the paint. So I'm going to keep taking his points until they get him up to about 29.5 or 30. And I still think he's good for 30. I got to fade NAW, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, under 12.5 PRA. I don't think he's getting the minutes in this series that we saw from him in this last one. So I got him under on the 12.5 PRA because Jaden McDaniels will be all over Jamal Murray. He's only going to be in there when it's like we need to give JMD a break. And in that case, I still don't think he's really getting much off with the dudes that they'll have on the floor over him. And I think Naz will be getting more time than him. This is something I talked about with Prop Bomb the last show where we were already taking a quick look at this game on Saturday. We had the live stream yesterday on Friday. And that was one of the things we were looking at here was Nas to play more minutes, Cat to get more minutes, and NAW to get a few less minutes than he saw in that Suns game where he was so crucial. So I do like Nas on the points. I actually would rather take only points if you're going to play one of these between points and rebounds. I would take only the points. So if you are asking me about plus 8 or over 8.5 points for him, then I get that, and I would play that before I'd just play the boards by themselves. I'm not sure how often he'll be the only big man on the floor, to be honest. There'll often be a couple of them, and they're just not good enough down low defensively if they don't have either Cat or Rudy on the floor with him. So they'll make sure that that's the case. And we'll see what these rotations look like. We still got to kind of get a feel for this series, obviously. But those are the bets that I have in right now. I feel like I'm already I left one off because this thing keeps out my bets when I put them in. Yeah, I didn't give you Cat. And I like Cat with I gave out this same game parlay earlier. But Cat and Joker, I like both their props in this game. So I took Joker 25.5. I don't know why I chickened out more on him than with Cat. Maybe I should have come down Cat's rebounds before Joker's and gone to Joker points and Cat rebounds. But some combination of Cat and Joker, which are two bets I played singles. I also did hit, like I said, the 25 plus for Joker and the 8+ boards for Cat is plus 174 on DraftKings. So I hit that and put it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, link is in the description of the video. Check that out. And like I said, if you would subscribe to the page, super helpful for the channel. So let me see what else y'all got. Let me start with Mike Conley. So I'm going to present my screen. If this is your first time in the stream, this is what we do. We get these bets up on the stream from y'all, and then I take a look at all of it using mostly props.cash because that is a really solid tool that I've come to use pretty frequently, which is why I now have a little partnership with them. If you do want some props.cash in your life and you don't have it yet, you can use my code LYB24, and you can go ahead and get that for 25% off on the first month. So if you don't have that yet, I would really recommend it. Like I said, my favorite tool. And again, it also helps out the show. So here we got my screen share real quick. I'm just making it bigger for everybody. That's big. That's what she said. All right. So looking at what I've got here, this layout, starting with props.cash, and I've got my tools up as well that I'll probably be using here. But let's kick it off with Mike Conley so we can see what we like from him. If you were wondering about any of the links, any of the stuff that I'm going to use here, it's all going to be in the video as well, all those links. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. I'm just not going to do right now. All right, pulling up Mike C. And the first couple of things, we're talking about threes. We were talking about assists for Mike Conley as well. So let me check that out. I do think scoring is going to be something he'll continue to do, mostly because he's the outlet, right? Like he's the dude that they don't put the most pressure on defense. So we're going to see that for sure. Real quick, just because I have to interrupt myself, I love props.cash as having the potential assist. They also have rebound chances. I found that on stream and nearly had a heart attack. If you go all the way down past points, you can get rebound chances now as well. These are two really important stats between potential assists and rebound chances. If you are going to bet an assist or a rebound prop, got to look at what the volume is of the potential amount that they could get. It's the same thing as field goal attempts. You don't just take somebody's points without knowing how many times you think they're going to shoot in this game. It's the same concept for rebound chances and for potential assists. So let's look at the points to start. If you look at him on the season, let me see about playoffs. In that last series, he had a couple bad shooting games and actually got in foul trouble. But on the season, he's at about 11.4. We know he's over this number right here. He was averaging 29 minutes per game in the regular season. During the playoffs, that's us right here. In the playoffs, his minutes are up to 32. So he's playing a few more minutes per game in the playoffs than he was during the regular season. And I think you can probably accurately project him for his minutes in this game at about 32. Yeah, I think that's a fair projection is the average he's already been playing against the Suns. There's nobody that's really going to play him off the floor. I don't believe he'll have enough defensive guys out there that he's not going to be in too much trouble. Probably see him on KCP for the majority of the time, right? And then I think you'll just keep getting Jamal Murray matched up with JMD with Jaden McDaniels. So what are some things we can use for Mike? Let me pull up Courtside Pal real quick. I want to see how he does compared to this team. Courtside Pal, really helpful tool for defense versus player profile, not player position. Too often it's like, what's the point guard? Who's the shooting guard? It doesn't matter how they do against that position. There's dudes that do different things that are labeled by that position. So pull it up. Mike Conley? Yeah, Mike Conley. I don't know if it was Michael. Mike Conley Jr. I believe he's a junior. His scoring profile. So if I go down and go to team ranks versus player type, I'm looking at shooting profile here for him against the Nuggets. They look like they limit him to the 8th fewest points per game in terms of his profile from where he's shooting from and how he likes to score. they're limiting that 21st, right? So they're really good at limiting points against guys like Mike Conley. If we look at his boards, which isn't always something that matters because he's a guard, but they're limiting rebounds to his rebounding profile, ninth fewest. Go to assist. How often does he get dimes against a team like this? Second best. So this is not a great matchup for Mike Conley, according to Courtside Pal. That's the first thing to look at. I also want to bring up Props Madness because that shows us more of the play type that he runs versus how this team defends against play type. Make this a little smaller or a little bigger. There we go. So if I pull him up on here, I'm on the game right here right now, the correct game. Go to Mike Conley, and I look at his stuff. So I'm going right down to season chart to see where he shoots from, and I want to see how well Denver defends all of these different zones on the court. So Denver limits his where he shoots from at the top of the key to the third fewest above the break threes right there. They're really good in the corners at defending the corner three. And then you can get to the rim against them, right? 17th in terms of defending the rim, 13th extended paint, and then the mid range about 17th. So he's doing most of his damage as the pick and roll ball handler. We know that he does that play a lot. Obviously, as the point guard on this team, and they run it a good amount to try to get other dudes open and get imbalanced, whatever with Rudy. And so it doesn't look like he's likely to have as good of a scoring series. He's down at 10.5, which feels like they took that into account. I'm just looking at the playoffs right here, how he was shooting in general. So if we put him at about 10 or 11 shots, I actually want to see how many shots he takes when he played against this Denver team. So we'll go head to head. Got some really good games against them in terms of scoring. It looks like this season, obviously, he went over every game this season in how many minutes. Let's make sure that Rudy and everybody was in there. So I'm going to put in who he was playing with. Let's say Rudy was in the game. Let's say Cat was available, and Ant are available. Those are the three dudes taking the most shots besides Mike Conley. And yes, so there was only one game this season where all of these dudes were on the floor. Right now, let's put all of them on the floor and look at the total on the season. So he goes over a little less frequently when all three of these dudes are on the floor this season. There's 57 games with Cat, Rudy, and Ant. And Mike Conley went over not as often as you might like, right? 46% of the time. And that wasn't a good amount of minutes. We're looking at 29 minutes. So even if you add 3 more to him, it doesn't look like we're getting much of an edge at 10.5, even if you consider what he did against them, because with these dudes, not the same. This is the playoffs last year against, same concept. He was still on this team last year, but, went over in 3 of these 5 games last year. And that's still decent in the 7th. You like the points that he's gotten against him in the regular season. You really need him to shoot well. So if you look at the regular season game versus the team, his field goal percentage was 78%, right? Because he shot the ball 9 times in 27 minutes and made 7 of them. I don't want to have to bank on that for Mike Conley to get his. So I might be off on the Mike Conley points. Let's see how he does. Like maybe he gets a few more shots, but I would need him to get more shots in this. If you look at the player prop tool that I have up here, this is in the Discord as well. You can use this for yourself. You can enter player, his prop, and then you can put the odds for each under and over. And if you use his season-long averages for minutes and prop that you're looking at, whatever, you can find if you have an edge to the under or to the over here. So I'm not going to look at that for Mike Conley because I already know it's a pass for me at over at minus 122. It looks like it's also hanging 11.5 now for like plus money if you want on DraftKings, but I'm not messing with Mike Conley. I'm going to see how many shots he really is able to pull off. But my guess would be it's about 10 or 11. If that's the case, and he makes 50%, he's still at 10 points right there. He doesn't really get to the free throw line. And against this team with those dudes, he's only shooting 2 threes with all 3 of these other dudes on the court. So I just don't think you got accurate numbers from his past against this team without actually putting in Cat and Rudy and Ant, right? If all those dudes are in, we're talking about not quite as much. So let me keep it moving here. Mike Conley, if you want to talk about the assist, once again, I mean, maybe there's a chance, but if the ball is in Ant's hands a ton, let me undo this real quick. This is head-to-head. This is with these dudes. On the season 6.2, this would be where I would go with Mike Conley way before I went to the points for him is going to be the assists on the season when all 3 of these dudes are in. He's gone over, 60% of the time, 6.2 assists, and that's in 29 minutes. So there's probably a little bit of an edge to the over. 10 potentials to get 6 dimes, minus 118. That's what he's averaging. Let me do in the playoffs this year. But playoffs. So he went over in 3 of 4 against the Suns, who are really good at. Actually, they're bad at limiting assist point guards, I believe. I'm just going to pull up. I know I said I don't like the. This is just a little bit faster. This is actually player position versus team defense. So this is actually helpful for just like in a pinch. If I look at point guards assists on the season, you can see Phoenix is giving up the like sixth most of them, and Denver is much better than that. Yeah, Denver gives up like the eighth to ninth fewest assists to point guards. So they're much harder to get assists against. I'm going to see how things play out for Mike Conley, to be honest with you. I want to see if he's able to shoot more or get some potential assists more before I bet him. Plus, I already showed y'all what's on the bottom line is like 5 of these bets I already got up. So I don't need to get crazy with another. And a lot of them are overs already for this Wolves team. So I don't need to get too crazy with it. The rebounds for Mike, I mean, they could be there in the playoffs this year, 4 for 4 head to head, though. Like this is going to be a much tougher team to rebound against. If you look at point guard rebounds on the season against Denver, not that bad. Yeah, middle of the pack. Not much of an edge there just for that. So with everything I saw on courtside palette, kind of scared me away without having like a much bigger edge on the Mike Conley. The numbers over is minus 132, in minus 148. So you get a little bit of value for betting that. But let's move on to Ant, and I'm gonna take a look at some other stuff that you guys have in here. What's good? Free sauce. We got Carlos in the house and Johnny Rick. Ant has a free square bet for those who are on Better. What's that? Logan Paul's deal, right? So you can, if you want a little Ant on the get a little free square, you can take him to get over half a point on there. I like that call. Thanks for sharing that. Sure, that's a good look for y'all that are on Bet-R or Better or however he pronounces it. Under on Jokic assist. Let me see real quick, bro. I appreciate it. This hoodie. If you the Oakland Roots are a soccer team, and my wife actually used to work for them. So yeah, I got hooked up on some gear, and they got some fire stuff because the dude who owns the team and founded it is a former employee for Kanye on his design team. So if you like anything Yeezy, you're probably gonna like a lot of this Oakland Roots stuff. But it's Oakland Roots. Check out their gear if you want it. This is just free promotion for them. I swear to God, they're not paying me to do that. This hoodie's just pure fire. I love it. So let's see. I know that y'all have a lot of stuff. So I didn't look at a couple things I want to make sure I do look at. Let me get it on the upcoming real quick so I don't forget stuff. I know we had to talk about Ant. I'm just going to pull up all of Ant's stuff. I didn't put a bet out for Rudy, so I'll put him in here. I didn't look at any of the unders for Joker rebounds or assists, so we can look at Joker RA. And then there was a couple others in here I saw from y'all. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Keep it going. I did not look at Ant RA, but I'll put that up, Carlos, so we can look at it. Hell yeah, Free Sauce at work, jumping in to just throw these bets in here. I know Free Sauce loves Aaron Gordon under 7.5 rebounds. We put Ago under. We'll look at rebounds for him and look at the under. Always got to keep that in mind. This is what I got coming up, so I'm just making sure I got everything that you guys got. Hell yeah, Frank Sinatra in the chat. Welcome back, brother. Yeah, that's a good look. Aaron Gordon PRA. I'll look at all of it for Aaron Gordon. I think I want to look at him because I do like that under 7.5 boards look and see what we think about it. I want to look at one thing real quick. So for Ant with rebounds, one thing I always look at, and I tell everybody on the stream is I pull up the matchups. Obviously, you want to know about rebound chances. You want to know what's the like threat, like the ceiling for how many rebounds he could get based on how many chances he's getting. But at the same time, you need to know matchups because you need to know where guys are standing on the floor. So I'm going to go into the box score from these dudes in the regular season on the NBA Advanced Stats page, and I'm just going to Denver's page for the box scores. I'm gonna pull up versus all teams and change it to Minnesota Timberwolves. We're gonna work fast here, y'all, because obviously I'm dipping as soon as we got this game going. I got some live bets maybe to put in, and if we bet anything else here, I got to put it in. So this game on April 10th, not everybody played. I believe March 29th had a good amount of everybody in there, and the Wolves took that one on the road. We had no Cat though. And that's the problem. I think the only game was like the first game of the season with Cat. Let me just see how that one looked in terms of who Aaron Gordon was guarding and vice versa. Come on, dog. All right, advanced box scores versus Minnesota. So the first game of the season was a beatdown by Minnesota. So some of the minutes might be skewed. Let me make sure the beatdown was already done in the fourth. Yeah, so they were up 7. They're up 19 at the half, right? So yeah, this game was over by the time they went to fourth, and that's why Jokic only played 30 minutes. Just be careful when you look at that stuff to make sure you see, like, was it a blowout? Is that why dudes didn't play the fourth quarter? Jokic barely played 30. But I believe so Aaron Gordon's in this game, and so is Cat, right? And Jaden McDaniels is going to get more minutes than 21. And they're all going to play like 10 more minutes than you see right here for everybody. That's probably the case. But looking at the matchups real quick. So I'm going into matchups from this first game they played against each other. I'm putting Aaron Gordon on defense first. And I see he guarded Cat for the majority of the time. He didn't even get that many minutes. I think he got foul trouble too. So this isn't really going to help, I don't think. I'm looking at his fouls. Yeah, he had 4 fouls. So he didn't even get that many minutes. He only played 18.5 minutes. So that's tough. So just make sure you know why he went under there. Let's pull him up on props.cash. I think his matchup is still going to be Cat. in this game. That's who he's going to be guarding, right? So if he's guarding Cat is actually taking a lot of his shots from outside the paint. And he's not necessarily going to be as close to the basket. I think that's a pretty decent look for Aaron Gordon right off the bat. If you look at his PRA, this is all head to head, right? So this is versus Minnesota playoffs. My bad. This is regular season. Let me pull up regular season for this team against him. So I'm on PRA right now, right? These are the 4 games under because of those 18.5 minutes. I think you throw that out the window, man. Like you don't got to worry about the 19 minutes he played in that first game with foul trouble and a blowout. 27, 25, 19. 19 was in a game that was also a blowout, right? They won that game. He saw 28 minutes. How many minutes is he seeing in the playoffs right now? On that up 2023 playoffs. In these playoffs, he kind of did his thing, obviously. 40 minutes a game in the playoffs so far. So if we give him 40 minutes, and I mean, you got to give him at least like 36 to 40. I think that's the threshold. Now it's a little bit scarier. So the rebounds on the regular season for him was at 6.7. So he went under this number 63% of the time during the regular season. And Joker's always in there with him. Played 32 minutes. So he's not going to have that many minutes, but let's put 36 to 40. See how many games he played during the regular season, 36 to 40, and at least start there. So he played, looks like 15 games. He played 36 to 40, and he got 8.7 boards a game in that time, right? Over in the 10 out of 15. So the problem is not all these teams are going to be as good at rebounding as Minnesota, obviously. So let's, so that's not going to help because it's still helpful, but it's not what we want to go on. He averaged 38 minutes in those games, but that's about what we would expect. Let's see head to head, 36 to 40. Let me see if I can do 2023. Did he play them? Hold on. Let me see if I can do versus Minnesota last season. Yeah, he didn't really play 40 minutes because there was also games where they were just winning by a ton. So it's a bit more of a lean to the under. I just don't think we really have that good of a gauge based on past performances just because of what he's done. So this is 2023 versus Minnesota. Going under pretty consistently. And let's look at the rebound chances real quick, and I can move on. This is I like this bet as for the under. I don't know that I'm going to add it to my card, but I still understand playing that. So what I'm going to do is go to the NBA stats page again, and I'm going to go to players, so I can see his. I can also do this. My bad. I can do this on props like that. Cool. All right. So if I go down to rebound chances for him, this is versus Minnesota this season, right? 2023 Minnesota, 4 games. And rebounds, obviously, I want to see rebound chances. So it's 9 a game. In 18 minutes, he had 4, though, right? So you put 40 on that. You're probably looking at like 8 to 10 in that game as well. But I think you probably put him at about 9. So if you put him at about 9 rebound chances in not very many minutes against the team, that's the other thing. 27 minutes. 9 rebound chances in 27 minutes. He plays 36. So 9 and 27 is 1 every 3 minutes, right? So if he gets 1 every 3 minutes and he plays 10 more minutes, he's looking at 3 more rebound chances. So I'm putting him at about 11 to 12 rebound chances in this game, right? I think that's fair to assume if he played 37 minutes. So 10 to 11 rebound chances to get 8 of them against a really good team. Plus 116 ain't bad. And you can get plus 124 on DraftKings. So you got to eat the juice. I think that's where you kind of lose me is the hold here is so big for the books. I don't know if I can go with Aaron Gordon boards under or over, to be honest, for the edge. And I don't really know how to project him in this game, so it's hard for me to put him into here based on all that. And also, just if we look at him on props or on courtside power real quick, I'm gonna put Aaron Gordon in here. See what his rebounding profile is against this Nuggets team. Go to rebound profile, and against the Nuggets. Yeah, actually not that. Or I'm sorry, he is on the Nuggets, bro. I'm talking about Minnesota. Against Minnesota for Ago. Yeah, I mean they're where they at. Wow. Okay. 10th. Yeah. All right. Wow. That's better than I thought. So that's a little bit scary too. He has a propensity to rebound against this type of team. Matchups are going to be huge. I need to see what the matchups are based on where who's guarding him, who he's going to be guarding here. If they put him on Rudy at all or anything like that, which they'll probably have him on Cat because he's going to be a little bit more versatile. So that makes sense. He'll be on Cat again. He'll be pulled from the basket. I like the under better than the over, but the juice is not worth it for me. So I'm gonna pass on the Aaron Gordon for that. For the points for Ago, I saw a look for his 3-pointers. I really like Prop Holiday. You don't follow him, he's awesome. Prop Holiday has a really good look for this because he was talking about how if he is guarded by Rudy, which he expects him to be guarded by Rudy Gobert, then it makes sense for him to step out and pull Rudy from the basket and shoot these threes from a little further away. So I don't hate that, to be honest with you. I think that's a pretty good look. now minus 106 on Caesars if you have an account there, or you can get 110 on MGM and 115 on DraftKings. Looks like FanDuel's not even offering a 3-point prop for him, which is weird. But I think minus 115 is an okay look on the season. Real quick, um, on the season, over in 41% of games. If we look head to head this season, he went under in 3 of the 4. So it's a little bit scarier than I might think. How many was he pulling, real quick? And Rudy might not have been guarding him quite as much because Cat wasn't there for most of these games. So if Rudy's guarding him, let's see what he does. It's not a bet for me because I don't know exactly how these matchups are going to look. I need to see one game before I start to understand how the postseason matchups are going to work. I don't think the regular season, when these two teams played, gave us enough to go like, here's what's going to happen in this game. They're going to stick to this or stick to that. So that's matchup dependent for me. If the assists were a better, the rebounds rather were a better juice for the under, I think that's a good look. If you get it, if you got it closer to like minus 110, 112 in that area. But if you got it at minus 140, I'm off of it. So that's where I'm at for that. Let me see what else I got up here. So I'm passing on Ego rebound, but let me look at Ant-Man real quick, and then we can look at Rudy. Those are the next two. So for Ant-Man, looking at points, and also just want to keep in mind, like, if you're going to try to fade Anthony Edwards in any way, there's always the possibility that he just goes the hell off. Now, 27.5 points is a lot. Against this team this season, he did it once. Let me see what he does when we've got let's see what he did in this last series again. I want to see the numbers in the playoffs. His playoff numbers, not versus Denver in the year 2023. Obviously, he went clean off. And this is what I'm talking about by being careful of like fading Ant. And I was the dipshit who did it in the first game. Looked really good at the first half. He had 10 points at half, and then he put 23 up on the second half. So he can do that at any given moment. The shot attempts for him in this series, last series, was 24, then the 12 when that was a blowout, and then 23-23. So he's taken basically 23 shots a game when these games are close. So 23 shots a game to get 28 points. Real quick, he's at about 50% in the playoffs, right? That field goal percentage at 48. He had that one bad game in game 2. That's a little terrifying. So you got to keep that in mind. And that's if you're talking about you might be talking about a different bet with Gobert, but I'll get into that one sec. And I appreciate Free Sauce jumping in, throwing all these bets out there that you're playing too, y'all. So if you like that, keep that in mind. And I'm not gonna forget Jamal Murray. I saw something talking about him. For Ant, we think he's gonna take another 23. Playing this team this year. Oh, this is the playoffs last year. So he's just on one in the playoffs. It's just Ant trying to be, the next thing, and it kind of is the next thing, right? So that makes total sense. This is a little bit more of his coming out party more than ever. 40 minutes, 25 shots. You will not catch me going under on this man. He's going to be taking as many shots as anybody in this series. In fact, what is he to lead this game in scoring? I want to see that real quick on DraftKings. That might be a look because, like, points for Ant, they're going to be there for him. So, what's up, Daff? Appreciate you dropping by, man. Let me see what we got for the game leader here. So, on DraftKings, I know they have this. I'm pretty sure they have it on FanDuel as well. He's plus 160 to lead the game in scoring. He's at 27.5, and so is Nikola. So right there, it's almost like it's not as good of a bet to take Ant with 30 cents more expensive than Joker because they're at the same exact points prop, right? I look at Joker's points prop. Over for Ant is minus 106. And over for Jokic, this almost makes me want to take Jokic. Oh, no, he's at 28.5. So Jokic is at 28.5, but his prop to lead the game is more valuable. That's already a misprice there. The player points 20 Ant is at 26.5, and Joker's at 28.5, and yet Joker to lead the game in scoring is plus 190. Do you see how backwards that is? That's incorrect. So that right there makes this a valuable bet for Joker. So I'm going to take that, even though I was looking at Ant points. Like, this is just a value play. They've just got this stuff mispriced. This is like wonderful. And if anything, like you take Joker and you still take Ant on the over, and that kind of covers you a little bit in case Ant does go off. And he's still at plus 20. So I'm taking that on draft. I'm taking Joker leading score plus 190 on DK for 0.5 units to make a unit back, basically, if we get that. So everything I've already got is on the bottom line. As soon as we dip out of here, I'm also going to have this stuff in the comments of the video on YouTube, if you check that out there. So yeah, I like the I love that already. I know I'm getting value there for Ant to go off this one. I want to see how I think he's going to go off again. To be honest with you, I think if anything, you just take like Ant on some alt stuff, like you take him at 30. Let's see to get 30 on DraftKings real quick. Player points and alt stuff. 30 is 140. So if you're taking 28 and a half or 20, oh, it's 26 and a half for Ant, right? This is so wild to me, dog. 26 and a half, but then 3.5 more points plus 140 for another 80 cents that you, or $1.20 more, right? So that's a really good number too, I think. $1.20 more. And then the 35 plus is plus 320. So yeah, I think the 30 plus at plus 140 is already worth a look. I mean, they're going to be throwing a lot of dudes at him, but that's worth a look. I'm not going to put Ant in there right now. I think that's a pretty good look, though. So, yeah, the Ant stuff that everybody was asking me about, too, is rebounds. Let me pull up Ant rebounds real quick. And the assist could be there. I mean, they are going to throw a lot at him. So, what's the assist at? 5.5 at minus 110. On the season, what did he do? He got it in 3 or 4 of the playoff series. On the season, he averaged 5.2. He went under this way more than he went over. Let me see what happens when we put all these dudes in here with him. We'll take Rudy and Mike Conley and Cat, put them all in on the season with him. And that number is still at 37%, but now he's at 4.9. So the dimes are a little bit scarier. I know he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton, but the potential is still he's going to be a shooter. So I don't think I'm on the assist for Ant. I think rebounds is a better play than assists for Ant. And I'm looking at this once again in the regular season with everybody in. And let me look at the last 5. So in this last series, he went clean off getting those boards. This is well, no, you know what? That's not true. The Suns were a good rebounding team as well. Let me go to the Suns. Just look at their rebound percentage on the season. Yeah, they were the 7th best rebounding team with rebound percentage, and Denver was actually 6th, and they're both better than Minnesota. But yeah, for Ant, let me put him in our courtside power real quick. Anthony Edwards. And this is courtside pal for those of y'all that are new. Did it earlier when I was looking at it. Really, really recommend taking a look at this and playing around with it. Team rank versus player type. This is the defense of the. I'm looking at Ant and how the defense of the Nuggets performed against him, limiting him. So for points, they're good. 21st, 27th in scoring profile, and then for assists, they give up the 4th most to his assist profile. I still think he's gonna be shooting a lot more. I want to look at the rebounds. For rebounds, they're very good. Oh, best at limiting rebounds. What did he do during the regular season, rebounds-wise, against his team? Head-to-head with all 3 of these dudes. He only played the first game of the season because Cat wasn't in there. Cat being out for all those games is a freaking killer to our projections based on past stats, right? Rebound chances against his team, and this goes back to the playoffs last year, too. I'll leave it in like this just to see when he's playing with all these dudes here, what's the rebound chances at? So the regular season, it was 5. That was a blowout. Didn't probably get that many minutes anyway. Last year in the playoffs, 12, 15, 13. Close that series. I don't hate the rebounds. What do we get here for it? Minus 106. That's not bad. I don't think I'm going to have enough of an edge there to get it. I do see the rebounding on here. I just want to, oh no, the rebounding is what he's bad at. That's right. Yeah, I'm off the rebounds against this squad. The playmaking is now interesting to me. Let me look at one more thing for Ant. I'm going to go to players. I want to look at touches for him in this last series. I'm going to go to tracking data. So I'm in tracking data inside NBA Advanced Stats, and I'm just going to touches real quick. And let me actually look at passing. I'm going to look at passing, and I'm going to make playoffs and filter it to just the Wolves. So I'm making this just Minnesota. So I can see the Minnesota team players rather, not team, the Minnesota player tracking data for passing. So he had the most potential assists, 11.5 in this last series, averaged the 6.3. That's not going to give me enough of an edge, to be honest with you. So, I mean, passes made, Mike Conley still had a few more. Passes received, Ant had a few more. So they are going to make sure they get the ball back to him. And they're going to be mostly the only 2 dudes with the ball in their hands, to be honest. But Cat being out there is a little bit annoying, too, because I think he'll be out there for 32 minutes, not 28 for Karl Anthony Towns. Not the best assister in the world. Actually had 3 or 4 potentials during that whole series a game. Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to dime up. I actually still kind of like Mike Conley to get dimes more, but if Ant is forced to get rid of the ball, I think that's actually a pretty good look. Yeah, that makes sense, bro. If you real quick, just because you asked me photo jobs, I got the bottom line scrolling, and that has Karl Anthony Towns as a bet for over 7.5 boards already. If you want to hit that, so to answer that question for you, yeah, I think Ant is a better bet to dime up in this series than to get rebounds. And I'm basing that a little bit on the rebound prop, the courtside pal here is definitely impacting my thoughts there, right? Because they are the best team at limiting rebounds to him. And I mean, he still got him in the playoffs last year. You need Denver to shoot a little bit poorly. So which way? I mean, if I was taking either of these, I guess I'm saying I would go with the assist, to be honest. I mean, he did it last year. He's gonna have the ball in his hands a ton. But they're gonna force the ball out of his hands. We'll see how it goes. I'm off either of that stuff. And you can tell I'm chickening out. I'm betting him in this series. I've also got like 6 units on this game already, so I don't need to go crazy. But what I would recommend for game one for Ant is assist before rebounds. And if you're gonna do anything like maybe some PA in there, some points and assists for him in case he goes off from scoring, and then you get the assist covered, you don't just take it by itself. I think that's what I would do more than anything. Real quick, we take out Cat, and then there's a couple other games that he played in the regular season. If I just do what he's done against the team in the regular season, the points and assists, they were kind of there for him, but the minutes were at 36. We've got to assume he's playing 40, like he played 40 to 44 in this last series. So the overs are going to be there for him. Let's see how this game goes for me. But like I said, assist over rebound, if you're going to bet over for Anthony Edwards. Let me get to Rudy because we have that up as well, and I can update this real quick. And I'm passing on everything. The ant emoji came up. The hand up means I'm passing on it. Joker RA I didn't look at. Ago I passed on those as well for the rebounds. So that's going to be up right here. You can see that in the comment. Still got about 20 minutes to get this did. So let's see. I said Rudy, right? Let me stay to it. Look at my ADD under control, bro. I'm pretty excited about it. Also, like I said, everything's on the bottom line. So if you're asking about Nas Reed, if you're asking about any of those dudes, asking about Cat, that's what I'm playing for them are on the bottom line. Asking about Joker, playing points for Joker. Haven't touched his RA, which I can look at, and I want to look at MPJ before I look at Joker again. Like I said, I already got a bet for him. So I'm going to look at Rudy right now, and then I'm going to look at MPJ and see if there's anything. It would be P and R for him, either points or rebounds for Michael Porter Jr. So we'll look at that right after Rudy Gobert and looking at Rudy. And yeah, I believe Dave asked me about the RA. Dave, I am not. I didn't play the under assist Jokic at all, but I'm going to look at that after MPJ and after Rudy. All right, Rudy. Did it come up? Here we go. Rudy. I'm just going to tell my favorite story again. Rudy Gobert is defending Joker in a game a couple years ago. A defender for the Timberwolves comes over to help and double team, and Rudy goes, "Don't help. I got it. And Joker goes, "Brother, I have 47 points, indicating you probably need that team." I'm going to tell it like 10 more times during this series, so just get ready for that. All right, so this series, let me put Cat in there, though, and obviously that's going to suck. So let's just look at this without Cat for a minute, because without Cat, that would be the regular season of this year, looking at head-to-head versus Denver this season. So there's 3 times that he played him, right? The first game of the season we throw out the window because that was a blowout by the fourth quarter, and we don't really have much that we can use there to help us with what projections for today. So we look at the other 2. One of these had Cat in it, right? Let me make sure Cat's in here. Because Cat is a much better rebounder than is – where are you at, Cat? Is a much better rebounder than is Nas Reed, to be fair. So that does mean that Rudy with Cat in there is going to be a little bit worse. So 5 in the first game, but we throw that out. We don't have any data for him against this team. Let's do for the whole regular season and not just versus Denver and see what Rudy is on the rebounds there. I'm on the PA, my bad. On the rebounds there. My bad. Now I need to look at that again. Hold on. Head-to-head with Cat in there. Cat head-to-head with Karl Towns. The one game this year, he had 12 boards right up against it, and that was in 32 minutes. 32. You got to expect more minutes from Rudy in this one. Check what he played in this in the playoffs. Not head-to-head, just this year. He played in all those games 35 minutes and he sat a lot of the last one against Phoenix. He only played 25 minutes in that one. That's when he had 5 boards. So really in the first 3, he was looking at 16, 15 on average, about 12 on average over the first 3 games. So this is right at his number. If we look at him versus this team real quick, this is last year in the playoffs with Pat. 12 boards against this team. So I'm looking at the regular season real quick with Pat. He's at 12.5 rebounds. And this number is minus, it's even money that you can get on FanDuel for him to go over 12.5 boards. Rebound chances here, and what do I have my filters on? With Karl Towns this season. Rebound chances are going to be high, obviously. 22 rebound chances, pulling down 12.5. So we put him at about 12 divided by 22 is 54% success rate on his rebound chances, right? So how many rebound chances do we think? And that was in 34 minutes. But I think honestly, 35 to 36 minutes feels right. I don't think you need to run Rudy out there for that much. They're going to have a lot more Nas Reed in there, and then he'll be helping off his defense. But, let's see. Let's put Rudy on the season. Yeah, I still have with Cat, and I'm going to up his minutes to 34. Well, we'll make it 36. 36 to, well, let's make it 34 to 38. 34, 38 minutes. He did that with Cat this season 22 times, and he had 14 boards a game. So that looks a little bit better if you want to over for Rudy in this situation, right? You're talking about a lot better percentage there. 73% hit rate, 14 rebounds on those chances go up, 23.3 chances. So that's actually even better. 14 divided by 23 is 60%. So he had a 60% success rate on his rebound chances in these games where he got these amount of minutes. I still think it's a pass for me on the rebounds for right now. I also don't think there's going to be quite as many missed shots as maybe he got versus teams so far. So I'm going to pass on the Rudy boards at 12.5. If this was 11.5, that's a hit for sure. The 14 rebounds is great that he's averaging this position, but it's not versus Denver, right? Versus Denver, he hasn't done this at all. 34, 38 minutes. So that's a pass for me. I don't have enough to help me get that one. And then the points, let me see real quick. So we're just with Cat head-to-head versus Denver. In the last 5 was the playoffs. But he did really well scoring against this squad, obviously. Let me put him in courtside pal for a minute, see what we think about that, Rudy. I want to look at the amount of shots he was taking through. Rudy Gobert. All right, go on that. See his scoring. Now he might have some decent time scoring because if he's guarded by Joker, so he's the 10th best shooting profile to score points and the 11th, 12th best scoring profile. So it does seem like he's in a good position to score partly because that's what centers do against this team. They make sure that they give their center the ball if he's being guarded by Jokic and try to tire him out that way. So that makes sense. The rebounds against this squad for Rudy, yeah, I mean, they're going to be good at limiting rebounds to the center because Jokic is usually boxing out the center. He's still better than that. And 14th as a playmaker for assists. I don't really think about that for Rudy. So for the rebounds, I'm good on. The points, I do think the points are a good play for Rudy. If we look at head-to-head this season, he averaged 13. This isn't this season, I'm sorry. This is with Cat. So on the season with Cat, what was his points at? We said 30.1, right? Or 13.1 with Karl Towns. Pull him back up. Towns. On the season, he averaged 14. He went over in 34-64. That makes sense. If I look at head-to-head with Cat, you got to go back to just the one game this season. So, yeah, it's still not like I got a lot to work with. The amount of shots he took with Cat when he was in this season, averaging was 14.1. Eight shots a game with a field goal percentage of 66%. How many times we go to the free throw line? This is tough. These are sharp lines, fam. I'm not gonna I hate to sound like a cop out, but these are pretty good lines the way they've got it set. So, yeah. Not enough there. I want to take a look at a couple other things. I think Rudy on the points is gonna be a good bet though. At even money, I would take that over the rebounds if you're playing it. But it's a pass for me. Looking at Michael Porter Jr. and talking about Jokic assist, like the reason I don't like Jokic assist is to get to that point because it's been asked enough. Is like I don't like the situation for him against a team that does not double. That's when he gets a lot of his stuff, is when the defense tries to collapse on him and he dimes up, right? So he's not going to get the double team. So I do, like off top of my head, lean under for the assist when it comes to Joker. Yeah, let's go, Carlos. I think you ran with me. Joker top scorer. That's honestly just a value bet play right there. And in fact, I need to get that in. So let me try to double time my stuff here. Putting that bet in. So for the Jokic assist, let me look at against this team head to head, and we've got him doing that. Let me do this season. This season head to head versus Minnesota this season. I need to do it. He's averaging. All right, 9. Okay, here we go. On the season this year, 4 games, 7-5-2-3. Tells you something right there, man. They are not doubling him. He's in 36 minutes doing that. Potential assists are at 9.3. Make sure Jamal was in for all those games real quick with Jamal. So still in those 3 with Jamal, right? Under a pretty significantly. I mean, 7 there, he needs 9, averaging 7.7 potentials. So yeah, Jokic under is a better play for sure than the over. I cannot imagine that he's allowed to dime up. That is a big philosophy of the Timberwolves is do not let dudes get assists. If you look at assists on the season, let me pull up Joker inside of COURTSIDE Pal real quick. See if centers really, because they're sure that I'm sure they never double centers, and especially not Jokic, because they know he's just going to carve them up. If I put him on COURTSIDE Pal and pull up this and his playmaking profile against Mini, they're the best team at limiting his skills. So that makes total sense. Under is minus 105, eh? Yeah. And I just told you he averaged, 9 potential assists? 7.7 potential assists in these 3 games where he played with Jamal this season against this team. Let me just pull up the playoffs right now here. Last 10, I'm going to pull up playoffs. No. Just going too fast. 2023 in the playoffs. He got a lot of dimes against the Lakers. And I'm going to guess that if I put the Lakers in here, if I look at the Lakers, the way they limit assists to him, not bad either. Okay, yeah, AD's still a good defender, but I mean, he was doing whatever he wanted. He carved that team out. That team's terrible. Like, the Lakers are booty. Sorry, Lakers fans. Y'all are cheeks. Not you guys. You're cheeks. All right, so 9 still buttoned up against. Yeah, this is an underplay. I think you even got me convinced to play this. Can you get, there's an MGM line of stale. 8.5 plus 102 on DK. Let me make sure that's not stale too. Their assist. Hell yeah, I got my guy watching the stream to help me get these guys up. I'm not going to explain what I mean by that. Let's see. Joker 8.5 plus 102 for the under 8.5. Wowie wee wah. So this got bet down from 9.5. So there's no more 9.5 hanging. That's why that's good juice. I think we still can get it. Now the 9 assists is probably a pretty good projection for him. And I've got him against the Lakers. Like, I just love these numbers against this team. This is worth a bet at plus 102 for sure. I'm going under on the Joker assist. Let's get there. Yeah, I think that this is like a squad play, bro. Everybody seems to really like this one, and you guys have me convinced. So I'm going under Jokic assist. I think that's a good look. And we missed the 9.5, so that sucks. I hate the fact that it's already gotten bet down, but you got to take what you can get at this point. I think it's still worth it. So Joker under 8.5 assists plus 102 on DK. 0.5. Love that. Love that. All right, yeah, we got the Joker in there, so I'm going to update that. I passed on Rudy as well. We've got just a few minutes here. Let me use it wisely, and I'm going to look at MPJ. All right, Joker assist is added to the bottom. Joker under green check mark. All right, let's run one more here and look at Michael Porter Jr. Shout out Michael Porter Jr. and his character as a human being, going through all what he's going through real quick, and paying all that bail money to get his brothers out of jail freaking week in and week out. All right. They make me sick, bro. Like, dude is just taking care of them at this point. Pulling up Michael Porter Jr. after my tangent about Family Matters. Hella topical reference. Family Matters. MPJ, 17.5. So he went clean off, right, in this last series. We just pull up playoffs. The playoffs this season, yeah, our boy went clean off. 19, 22, 20, 27, 26. Let's see what he did against the squad real quick. Not playoffs, but head-to-head. Let's do versus Minnesota this season. So first game, blowout, we throw it out the window. Second game, 26, 14, 18. Who was guarding him in that first game, even though he only played, 25 minutes in that first game? Yeah, exactly 25. So who was guarding him in that first game? I just want to see that real quick. I should have left the box score up. That's my bad. Pull up the box score from game 1 to see the matchup real quick. Michael Porter Jr. and whoever was guarding him. I want to see what that looks like. Pulling up advanced box scores. Looking at, this was on 11-1, right? Advanced filters versus Minnesota versus. With those stats, November 1st. We're in the box score to see who the matchups were. Putting Michael Porter Jr. on offense, seeing that he was guarded by Ant. That makes sense. Honestly, Ant's at least like a aggressive enough to be able to get in his jersey and not let him shoot over the top. 3 points, 1 for 8 from the field. Not a good look. Let me go to the next game, though, because he played in that. I know Cat wasn't in that, but I don't think that's going to impact him at all. I'm going to go back real quick and go to the next game, see what that was like. We're pulling up MPJ, the box score. This was a close game. Good. So this is 115-112. This was Michael Porter Jr. in, but no Cat, but that's not going to impact us too much. We still have, it was Kyle Anderson. Oh, but there was no Rudy either. That's a pain in the ass, man. Let me just look at the matchup either way. If it was still Ant, offensive player, Michael Porter Jr., and this one was more Nickeil Alexander and Jaden because, yeah, they were giving him minutes, blah, blah, blah. So in those games with them guarding him, he actually did a little bit better than he did with Ant. That was a 1 for 8 shooting night. So that we just kind of cashed that as like whatever. Let me see him in courtside pouch too. Pulling up Michael Porter. Looking at his scoring versus the Timberwolves. His points shooting profile versus Mini. Not great. Best at limiting his points shooting profile and scoring profile. Looking at the boards. The best at limiting his rebounds. His dimes, something he never does. Looks like they're 16th at limiting dimes. You want to take Michael Porter assists? You don't want to do that. Michael Porter assists these last, well, it's 1.5 over Sheena Stokes' team. Let's see real quick. He got 6 total in that last series, 3 a game. Or I'm sorry, well, in the last 2 games. Honestly, he averaged, 2 a game in that last series? Plus 133. He went over in 2 of them is what I was trying to say. Sorry, potential assists, 3 per game. Last 2 went 6 and 3. I mean, that ain't it. And it's the Lakers. Like, I don't think you want to be doing that against this team, even though it looks like that's the best thing for him. 7.5 boards. Gonna be tough to get boards, but like maybe. Like honestly, maybe. Let me see rebound chances in the last 5 here. This is against Minnesota. 12, 9, 7, 10. So 9.5 rebound chances to pull down 8 or so. But his rebound chance percentage is high, honestly. Like if we go back into players and we go to player tracking data, we go to rebounds, and we do this again real quick where we go to playoffs. We just look at the Denver Nuggets, get stats, rebound chance percentage. Michael Porter Jr. at 73.7, right? He's always getting those deferred rebounds. Like he's kind of like a Josh Hart type sometimes. Where he just loves getting all the like loose balls to get his stats up, to get those boards up. So I don't hate that for him, but against this squad, like it's going to be a little bit tough, man. I think I'm not feeling great about the rebounds from this series like I was for him last series. And then for the points, how many shots do we think he's going to take? This is still against Minnesota this season, right? So this season, the shots that he was taking in 32.5 minutes, we got to give him a few more minutes, obviously. We got to put him at like the 35 or 6 that he played last series. Looking at 12.5 attempts, always about the threes with our boy. Only averaged 2 makes, but he averaged 5 attempts against them. I hate that. I really hate that. Like, but in the last series, it was higher. I don't have a feel on MPJ yet. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So I'm gonna hold off on betting anything for him yet. I don't really have much for the other dude in this game. And Jamal Murray, I already took under PRA. If you want to know about him, I know there was some questions about him. Hopefully, you guys see everything on the bottom line there. You see the bets that are already in. I'm gonna jump into the comments of the video here in a minute to get that up. But yeah, let me know. You guys are talking about Nas at 12.5, minus 105. I don't know if you have the edge there for the minutes I project him at. So I'm good on that. Got Constantine likes Gobert over rebounds. That's cool. I'm just running through stuff real quick with you guys. Appreciate it, Derek. Good to have you in here, fam. Yeah, Rockstar. I mean, the rebounds ain't a terrible look. I'm just off of that right now, based on Cat being in there, it being tough for him to board, blah blah blah. But yeah, and for Rudy, I'm on the points a little bit more than the rebounds. I wanted to play an over for Rudy. That's where I'm at. Who is checking Ant-Man? I believe it's going to be KCP. Let me just double check that, and then I'm going to dip. And if y'all want to dip out too, whatever. If I'm looking at this last game here, let's see who is on Ant-Man in this game. Yeah, it's going to be KCP. So yeah, KCP will be matched up with him. I'm going to get going because I'm also going to be putting up a video while I'm looking at the game here. I'll be putting up some live bets, but I'm also going to be looking at tomorrow's game 7 for the Cavs and Magic. That video is going to be up tonight. A couple of other reminders. Discord is live. The link is in the description of the video. So jump in that Discord if you do want to get these plays early and get them without having to necessarily watch all the videos. But subscribe to the YouTube page is huge. Much appreciated there. you do want a props.cash account that you still don't have, I know a bunch of people in the Discord do have it. This is the props.cash right here. So you can get LYB24 as your code, and then you can get 25% off. That's the tool we've been using this whole time. I freaking love it, as you can tell. Got a partnership with them that I'm really pumped about. So check all that out. I'm gonna roll. Remember to gamble responsibly, and until I see you next, happy betting.